Good day. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you so much for all your provisions, your blessings, your kindness, and your mercy, and your goodness. And I ask that you would give me wisdom and discernment as I go and execute some trades in the market. And I pray for wisdom and discernment for anyone else that is following along in trading. I ask these things in the name of Jesus, Yeshua. Amen. Good morning, Larry. How are you doing? We've got employment change and unemployment rates on the CAD at 8:30. And then prelim UOM consumer sentiment on the dollar at 10 Eastern. I will have to take off before 10 a.m. So I'll be getting off with you guys a little bit before then at some point. We'll see what time that ends up being. Got to get into a meeting at 10, so. But we can definitely have a good session before then. I have to take her to the doctor this morning. Is that your wife? Larry, I am an entrepreneur these days, but for the last 14 years, I've been in the film and television industry as a stuntman. Yeah, okay, so you've got to go, and I also have to go, so maybe we'll make this an hour or so. So we didn't make a move out of this little consolidation, which surprised me. I thought we'd really go somewhere, but just chop back and forth out of this little daily range that we're in for a week now. We've kind of pulled into this little consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, for just this whole week. Sitting in here, almost breaking out at the start of today. And it just couldn't do it. It rebounded back up. It tried to make the break earlier. I was actually in shorts when it was trying to break down. So this is the hour chart right in here. Tried to make that break down and just fully got rejected. Put my trade history on. because I guess, yeah, I got to go over what we left off. Yesterday was a bit of a messy day. Apologize for leaving kind of just in the middle of everything. Oh, I also need to write down my starting balance. 10,000. Live starting balance. $10,336.89. 10,336.89. All right, we'll go. Can we do the 5-minute chart? This is a decent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've been in business all your life. That's cool. I kind of wish that I had been earlier on, but my life was, I was not, I didn't do that. When I started in film and TV as a stuntman, uh, I mean, I guess that was the start of me being self employed. I left my job as a welder fitter, and I worked in a shop, and I did plate inventory, and I ran a CNC plasma cutter. I ran a whole department, and I was not okay to stay in that job for the rest of my life. And so one day things were just so bad in that shop. I just walked out. I gave no notice or anything. I just left. I was had enough. The boss was not treating me too well, and I was just not enjoying it. So I walked out of the shop, and then I came back the next after the weekend or something, and I said I gave my 2 weeks notice, and I had no plan really with exactly what I was going to do. I just knew I had to leave that job. I was 21 at that time, and then that's when I started doing my research to see how I could get myself into the film industry. I did 2 weeks of research on the computer online. I started to formulate a model on how I could get into the film industry because I thought it'd be fun to be a stuntman. So 2 weeks of that research, and I started getting into that, and I started shooting all my own stunts, and I started getting into shows as an extra, and I started getting my foot in the door, and then I kept volunteering myself with the stunt department. I would just keep trying to find all the stunt people I could and network and volunteer myself. And after a couple of years of not making any money, I started to make it as a stuntman. And then 14 years later, here I am kind of finding my way out of the industry. I'm still in it. I still do stunts today. Um, but I have a huge passion for trading, and the freedom that you get from trading is still far better than being a stuntman that's dependent on the industry, which I don't really like, and the production companies, and the industry really changed during COVID-19. It shifted a lot, and I really didn't like it. I lost a lot of work at that time too, and it changed a lot, and it put a bad taste in my mouth. Good morning, Vin. Nice to have you this morning. I'm just going over a bit of a background of where I came from, and I'm going to show you guys what happened yesterday because I left in a bit of a mess, and yeah, it was just messy, and I was distracted, and my phone was ringing, and um, so we left off. Oh, maybe I pulled up the 15-minute chart. In here, the market dropped a whole bunch, and I was trading through the consolidation, kind of chipping away at the losses. But I started to employ my 50-20 rule, which told me to start switching sides. So on one of the pullbacks, I took the losses. And the good thing is when I took my loss, I took it on a pullback. I didn't take the loss as the market was heading away from me. That's something to take note of, that is a good practice to be in, at least for the way I trade, is when the market was pulling back up, I took the loss on all my longs and started flipping to my shorts. And wouldn't you know, as soon as I did, my 50-20 rule, or my 20-50 rule, ended up hurting me, and the market ran all the way back up. And so anyway, I just took a breather, and then I started shorting that run, and I shorted and I shorted, and I took so many trades in there. And then this head and shoulders pattern started to form, and so I got more aggressive, and I held a bunch of shorts all the way through a bunch of that. And then so I made a big chunk on there when the market, I was giving it this section to try and bounce off of and keep heading down, and it didn't. So I didn't utilize this trade the greatest, but I still made a good chunk of money on this shoulder, and then a good chunk on those trades, and that's why my account is up 336 now. So there's that story. Yeah, it's consolidated for this week. It didn't really leave the range that it's in. All right, let's drop down. Now we know it's consolidating. And for me, because we had that rejection last night, or yeah, at the very start of the day, that rejection kind of tells me that, I mean, I'm just a little bit leaning back into the bias of the upside now. So I'll probably stay on the long side for now. Yeah, ended up on top. It was just a bit of a messy day getting there. I did pretty well. Like, I made a good chunk of money through that head and shoulders pattern that was developing back over here. I just started to really get in heavy, more aggressively, as that shoulder was developing, and as it started to trigger, like, or I guess even before it was triggering, like, I was going really heavy in here, making a bunch of good trades in there, heavier than normal, because I was in high probability. I used this high probability pattern to start really getting in, sinking my teeth into some trades, and made up a lot of those losses. And I think by the time I was out of this shoulder, I had locked in, I think I was around $256. So I'd made most of it back, and then I had a free trade that was running, and that trade made a big chunk more. So, but I couldn't hang around to keep trading with you guys during that time. But I kind of wish that I could, because I find it's really important when you find high probability zones to capitalize on them. And that's what I was doing. That would have been pretty useful to show you guys what I was doing in there. So it's kind of annoying that I couldn't be around to show you. But at least we've got that story now. We can look at what happened. So let me just take the trade history off. And then we'll go into the 1 minute chart. Big news in 20 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes now. Look at the 1 hour and 4 hour charts. Okay, what are you seeing on the longer term, Vin? What are you seeing on those longer term charts? Or do you want me to pull them back up? Yeah, this rejection on that attempt to break lower just gives me the feeling that we're going to go back up and test the highs of that consolidation, but I don't know. Yeah, consolidation for sure. For sure. And I mean, maybe it will break out of it today, but I kind of feel like maybe it won't. But I don't know. Just try and trade what we see technically for now and see what happens over the next little bit. Yeah, and hopefully that news in 15 minutes will get things going. It's a little bit stuck right now. It's a messy little pattern. So we got about 8 pips. Oh, it's really tight. It's stuck. This market is stuck. That's only 5, 7 pips there. And it consolidated even tighter through the last couple hours. Like this range in here is only 4.5 pips. Super tight. So we should get a pretty good expansion during that CAD news. At least get it going. 1.18. 1.18 is the midpoint. I'm going to put that on there. One point one eight. Right there. Yeah, that's the midpoint. And right now it's kind of aiming to head up and get there. And your top is at 1.1821. One point eight two. Oh yeah, right on that pivot right there. I see that. Yeah, that's a good spot. Yep. Somewhere in here. Bounce around, or maybe we'll break it. I don't know. Do you guys think it's gonna break out today? My gut kind of says if it's going to, which I don't really think it will, I think it's gonna actually go to the upside because of that rejection at the start of the day. Right now, Alveo is at 1.1789. Oh, like, are you saying that these prices don't line up? Like my MT5 is saying we're at 1.1794 or 1.1795. Larry, you're saying Alveo is at 1.179. Daily shows upside. London session. Yeah. You're saying you're thinking it's leaning towards the upside. Larry, are you saying that the prices are not the same between my MT5 chart and your alveo? Like, is that what you're saying? Or like they're really close? Just taking profit on the first one. We're right at 1.1795. Now it's 796. So yeah, I think they're pretty much at the same spot. Like your alveo is 1.7896. That's pretty much 1.79. They aren't the same, and neither is your trading view. They're pretty close, but maybe they're not exactly the same. Is somebody lying to us? What is the actual price supposed to be at? Mine saying 1.1797 right now. 1.797. 1.798. Like, are they over 5 pips apart in price? This kind of looks like what we're seeing. I'm gonna see if I can pull up. See, the thing is, my alveo is still not working. Maybe I'll try and pull it up. Oh, you rebooted it and now it's the same? Okay. So maybe it's just alveo being a bit funny, because my alveo's been quite funny. It's currently, my alveo is just trying to load up. It is not doing too well while trying to load up. It's taking a while. It's still not loading up. All right, it's now I've got the prices. Oh, there we go. Okay, I've got prices. We just hit 1.18. Yep, it looks like it's in sync with my MT5. Yeah, my alveo is in sync with MT5 as well. But I can't. Here, I'm going to share with you guys. See if I can put my alveo. heck is going on here? All right, there, that's better. So you can see my alveo, right? I can't trade with it. No, alveo's not working. I can't trade. There's no bid and ask. And my account says I'm down minus 5.4%. When I finished off the pay cycle on the 20th, I was up about 0.25% in the account. So this account shouldn't be negative 5%. Like, I don't know why it's saying that at all. It's coming up with weird numbers, and like that account value is not right. So yeah, and I can't trade. I can't buy or sell. I don't know what they're working on now. Let's go back to MT5 for now. And we're just a couple minutes away from the CAD news. Let's get ready to play some trades. Kind of creating that rounding double bottom, leaning towards the upside. How much of a leg do we have from here up? We've got 20 pips to go to the top of this range, or maybe even 30 pips all the way to the very top. So 20 to 30 pips we've got before we even start breaking out. So we could be in a big range today, maybe. We will see. Yeah, I'm not going to try and trade. You wouldn't trade yours anyway. Is yours just not working too well either? Larry, your LVO is, how is it doing? And Vin, you're saying we're at 1 hour resistance right now, like kind of that midpoint resistance. It looks like that's where we're at. All right, I'm excited to get trading here. That CAD news unemployment rate is about to come out here. Let's see what they got. They've got unemployment rate 6.5%, and their employment change is minus 24.8. Okay. So is that much of anything for us? Looks like not really much of a shift on the CAD. I'm just going to start shorting it. Got a leg up, and if it keeps running up, I'll just keep shorting it. We'll find a turn somewhere, and when it turns, I'll make a little bit of profit, maybe have to wobble out of a couple losses maybe, but I think I'm okay to just play both sides for at least now. I mean, it's not running away just yet, so. But there should be some opportunities. We've got this high sitting right here. It's got to get past. And then there's some more points that I can work with. There's lots more points to work with over here, so I'm okay to short it for now. Yeah, that CAD news isn't going to do much for anything, and then 10 a.m. we might see it start moving. Yeah, I was just telling Larry a little bit earlier, I'm going to have to finish up a little before 10 Eastern. They got a meeting at 10 a.m. So I'll finish somewhere up between 9 and 9:30 maybe. I will end up probably trading a little bit later on my own. I just gotta get into that meeting at 10 for a little bit, and then I might place a few more trades before lunchtime, and then I'll be out by noon. By noon, I'll be out of the market for the week, and then that'll be it. And then I'm gonna do like maybe a little like couple minute weekly recap, and then post it on Facebook and Instagram. And then just spend the rest of the time with the family. Okay, market's trying to run up. That next line, I'm going to short it on that line if it can bump into it. I'm going to try and just start slowly, trying to find the top of this 1 minute price cycle. This cycle is now run up 11, 12 pips now, so there's a good chance we'll see a price cycle back. Okay, I'm going to short that again, right on that high. Hopefully that little spot get a bounce there. If not, that's fine. Can run up more. We should see a turn here at some point. You just use WhatsApp and Discord. I have a Discord account. I just don't really use it. I can maybe like start using it. I think a lot of traders use Discord. Oh, and YouTube as well. Like I'm posting shorts, but I'll do. My plan was to do like a little mini recap of the week, and maybe just make a quick video, or maybe it's a short that I put on YouTube. my my goal is to ramp this YouTube channel up and just make a small little community and hopefully monetize the channel and just make a few extra bucks on whatever content and value that I can come up with here. Like my goal is to try and like bring the the value that I've learned over the past 10 years, if I can help anybody at all and with psychology or help people develop their systems and just go through basics. If newer traders come in and they want to start participating, I just want it to be like a really helpful environment for people to come in and learn, and we can talk faith too, talk about our Savior, and well, we can do whatever we want. Just reading Matthew 27 this morning, right before getting on. And I was just like rattled while I was reading when Jesus cried out his last cry, and the veil of the temple was torn in two and the earth quaked. And I was just like, man, that what must have been so nuts at that time. The earth went completely dark, and then the veil tears in two and the earth is shaking. I'm gonna short it again up here. See if I can find this turn. There's got to be a turn in here somewhere. Yeah, I would have liked to seen what it would have been like in those days, that's for sure. Been a lot of lies going on in the world that we live in today about our history and where we came from. So I would love to see what actually was going on in those Levitical days. It's nice not to make the sacrifices though. All right, one little profit target hit finally. See if we can actually make a turn on the 1 minute chart. Kind of have a funny topping thing going on right now. It's not really a good apex candle in here, but it's trying to turn. Yeah, they had a busy time doing all those rituals. Like, does it consume a big part of your day? A lot of animals too. Like a busy time just trying to make sure that you're clean and righteous in the eyes of the Father. This is a sleepy start to the market, to the session. Trying to make the turn now. It's trying to break below these lows. If it can, that's kind of like the trigger. There we go. It closed right just barely below them. So that candle closes confirmation of this turn. If I can get a pop down, oh, it's trying to pop back up. If it does pop down, I'll take some profit and also go long. Okay, trying to run back up to the high side. I'll short back on the, if I can get back up to those highs, I'll short it again. One more push. One more push higher. I want to short it as it's pushing up. Try and get the best price that I can. Okay, creeping back up. It is slow. Okay. Got an engulfing bar on the 1 minute chart, 1 minute candle. See if we get pushed to the downside. I'm going to just probably try and buy up. The push down, I'm going to just start along as it pushes down. Come on. If I can get, I kind of just want to get this trade off as well, the one that's sitting right below this point. I'd like to get rid of that one at like a break even. So if it can just push back down onto these lows, I'm going to take a small loss and then a small gain on one of those trades. Just because I got a feeling it's going to pop up again. Just trying to get it down right to here. Okay, almost there. Turning back up. Missed that opportunity. Okay, I'm going to get ready to short. I'm going to put one in here. If it pushes up more, I'll short it again. Trying to make my trades fit inside this consolidation that we're in. So if it comes back down for another test, I can get rid of that trade that's outside, like right at the bottom. I can take some profit, and then as it comes back down, take a small loss, maybe a small profit on these mid trades. But I want to get out of them. I don't want to keep sitting in them. I want to stay agile, take my profits and get out, take my profits and get out. And I don't want to hang around in positions too long. Okay, trying to push back up. I'm going to get another short in here. Only on the pushes up though. Okay, one more. That's a decent spot, so we'll just hold now and see if it's going to keep running. Yeah, it's a bummer I didn't get out of those when it came back down to the bottom. Oh, I missed the top. So if I can get any profit, I got to get rid of some of these because my position's a little bit on the heavy side. It's kind of okay because of the location of this price cycle. We're at a point where it is likely to turn. This leg up on the 5-minute chart, we've now run up 20 pips. So it's a decent spot for it to turn around. If it wants to run another 10 pips, I'm fine with that. I've got lots of capital I can work with to do that, and I'm prepared to do that. Feels like everybody is pulled out of the market already today, or they're waiting for that news at 10. But it is stagnant. Okay, trying to run up further now. See if it can make another leg higher. Okay, it's a confirmed break to keep going, so should see another leg or another bar or two to the upside. I'm going to try and find a top again, so I'm going to go slow. Oh, that's still too early. It's so slow. Yeah, I want my targets to come in above this high, so that target's okay. But I want it to run a little bit further before I get into a better stack. Whew, man, that is slow. Super slow. Okay, got an apex candle here. Took a little profit. Need it to come back down here so I can get rid of these bottom trades. See if I can get a bar or two to the downside now. How did your trading go yesterday, Vin? Did you end up getting that new broker? You couldn't log into the new broker. You just have to wait on them to help you get in. Okay, I'm going to try and get one more short on. You can push up again. I'm going to get into another short. So you still need to put some funds in to trade, like you just weren't able to do that yet. And then load up MT5. Do you trade on MT5 now? Okay, let's get one more short in. And try and find this top. I'm gonna get a couple trades up there. No, I'll close in a little bit. I don't have to close yet. Short it again. And again. Gotta find, it's like gaining momentum now. Trying to find that consolidation spot. Oh, I was so close to getting out of a couple trades, but that little tiny little range in there just didn't quite give me enough to get out of those. It's okay. Find a spot over here somewhere. It will consolidate at some point, and when it does, that's when I can start making the profits and the losses and the profits and the losses. This keeps running straight up for an hour. That might be a different case, though. All right, is it going to keep going and just keep running up and running up? Or will we find a consolidation spot? So that leg is 25 pips now. On average, we should find a pullback in this area. One 1.1481. Maybe we'll find a spot at 185. Here's 185. 1815, I mean. There might be a spot right there. If not, I guess we're going all the way up to 1.82. I'll have to try and find a spot up there. Oh, I missed that. Getting a trade on there. I got to get a little something in here so that I make a little profit when it pulls back. I just need to get a little bit heavier before it starts to turn. And then as that turn starts to happen, should see a little consolidation and a few opportunities for profit. Okay, on the 1 minute chart, we've now got a couple wicks on top. So are we going to see it start to round over? I'm going to just slowly add a little bit more into the short here so that I can make a little profit when it does turn. But it's difficult because it's slow. There's no volatility. My concern is that it's just going to keep running with no volatility. It just keeps pushing up and stepping sideways and pushing up. I need some up and down movement to take some losses off. All right, it's trying to make its turn finally. If it can break these lows, oh, my boys are really loud this morning. All right, sideways, sideways, sideways. Are we going to see another push up? Or will we get a turn? It looks like it wants to just keep going sideways and then push higher. It's got that grinding up feel to it. So we've had, this is the 15-minute chart. We've had a pivot up here, then we had a pivot here, which is a little lower. So it's kind of like, will we see a lower pivot again, or are we going to come up all the way up into here? That leg is, oh, it's like 30 pips. So on average, we should see a turn. On average. That doesn't mean we're going to get average today, but on average, that's about 5 deviations. And we should see some type of leg downward. But it is stagnant. All right. Back down to this 1-minute chart. So now we've got this this level that's built in here, where if it can break all those lows, we should see a turn. But it could just bounce right up and make another leg higher. So gotta just be slow. I gotta slow down even more. The market is so slow. I gotta stay in sync with it. So if it runs up, I need to be slow when I start shorting again. Okay, a little bit more movement in this one candle. That's kind of an indication that we're going to see a break of this consolidation, one way or the other. Okay, starting to press down into that line. And a close on the line. And it actually is a body close below most of those other bodies. So maybe we've got a turn. Yeah, Larry, it is Friday. Could be slow, it could be funky. I call them Freaky Fridays. Sometimes they just do really weird things. Just almost hit one of our take profits. I need to take some profits and losses before it runs up again. It looks like it's trying to make a turn back up now without hitting any of my targets. See, that's kind of like the downside of not getting right on the tops. Like I kind of missed those shorting on those wicks, and so I didn't make any profit on this little tiny leg. So now that puts me in a, whereas I could have taken some profits and a loss or two, that would put me in a better shape for the market to run up again. But I just didn't quite get that opportunity. So it's gonna, if it runs up, I'm gonna be carrying a little bit too much size into the next leg up. Looks like we're going to go for another leg up. I'm going to try and get one short to see if it finds that this high brings a resistance level, or is it going to break it? I think it's going to break higher again. But I want to put something on here in case it does consolidate so I can take some profit, so I can take some losses. And then eventually I'll find the spot that moves up and down, and that's where I'll start making my profits and losses. When a market just runs and runs and runs, that is where this system falls apart. It requires volatility up and down in order to make it work. And if it doesn't do that, the system falls apart and you hit stop losses. Okay, I'm going to just stretch this one profit a little bit lower in case it does turn, because I'm not able to get too much size on the top, so I got to try and make a little bit more profit on that one trade if it does turn. It looks like it's not going to turn anyway. So I got to be prepared to go for another leg higher. Probably into this level. So that will be another 5 pips, I think. 7 pips or so. Oh, it is trying to make the turn. Okay. All right, finally got one profit. Gotta hit a couple of these. Come on now. All right, now I'm gonna take a loss with some of that profit right here. And then just wait and see if this is actually a turn now and see if there's any follow through. If not, it looks like we're establishing a consolidation spot where I can take some shorts up here. And I'm going to take a long here too. That'll help hedge off just a little bit a risk. If it wants to run back up, I can at least make a little profit back on the top side. But I want to take the long on the bottom of this 1 minute price cycle. So this is a good spot to go long if you want to go with the momentum of that leg. Okay, it is trying to move back up. And it looks like a bit of a rejection to the upside now. Is that well, it's a bullish candle. That's a funny bullish one. I don't know if we're going to see a turn. I don't know which way it's going to go. Right in the middle. But we want it to go somewhere, up or down, not just say staying stuck. Okay, trying to make its move down. Man, guys, this is painfully slow. It's just not going anywhere. All right, finally taking a little profit on those shorts. It's a good chance the market could at some point come and test this zone right here. Put a line on the chart right on there. That's a good spot for it to stop if it's going to head down. Wow. Let's hope that things pick up at the next news because this is so slow. This is struggling to come up, so I might just take the little profit on that long right here, just in case it rounds over. I want to make sure I'm out of it. Okay, well, it would have taken profit there, but I need to start shorting on the leg up. Okay. And then hopefully find some consolidation here. Or is it just going to gain momentum again? Seven pips. So we're starting to see we should find the end of this price cycle on the 1 minute chart. 9 pips is an average price cycle. So as we find that, I'm going to be shorting to try and find that top. Yeah, and then we should see some kind of resistance come in right around here somewhere. Well, that double bottom really panned out for the long side. I'm going to get into a good size short on this line as it comes up there. That should be the end of, on average, that 1 minute price cycle, and we're meeting these other areas. So it should be a good spot where it should pull back, and then I can start making a little bit of profit and take some losses. We'll see if this is the spot. But it's a fine balance of getting in heavy enough so you can take losses, but not so heavy that you can't endure another leg higher. And that's where the volatility, if it's not volatile, it makes it super tricky to trade this way. But I like it because on average you get consolidation and back and forth movements. This today might be a little bit difficult. I'm just trying to push this meeting off a little bit in case we run into that at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And it looks like I'm okay to do that. So hopefully we can finish this off at that news at 10. So now I gotta just play survival mode here, as this market is just gonna, seems like it's gonna keep running. So I'm not gonna place any more shorts. I'm gonna just wait for more confirmation of it stopping, because I can't keep spending capital if it's not gonna turn. All right, it's trying to turn on the 1 minute chart, so I'm gonna just carefully add a few trades in here. If I can get any profit, I gotta take off another loss on the downside. And my targets are not in a great spot. See how they're right below these wicks? So the market just bounced right off of them. So that's not a good spot, unfortunately. But I couldn't quite, if I faded the top, I would have had the profits by now. But I just got to be really careful how I spend the money as to not spend it in the wrong spot. Like right now, I just really need to survive till the news where the volatility should come back. And then I can take some profits and losses. All right, another leg higher. Seems to be ignoring this spot here. It is just gaining momentum. That leg is now 39 pips, almost 40 pips. We're at the 1.1825. I'm going to try and get a few trades on here and see if I can find the top. Got 15 more minutes to the news. And I don't, like, it might just keep running. And if it does, I got to try and survive until the news, when the volatility will come back. So this is a balance of surviving for the next 15 minutes. And then when the volatility comes back, I should be able to manage out of it, take some profits and losses and some profits and losses. So that is the game plan. I'm just kind of in survival mode right now. And I overspent trying to find the top way down here. And I just missed it. I didn't quite, like, I was so close to getting out of some trades. And it would have put me in such a different position up here if I was able to get out of those trades. But the volatility was so low that I just didn't quite make it. So that's a volatility issue that I'm struggling with right now. The lack of volatility. Excuse me, lack of volatility. All right, let's try to make a turn back up to the high side. All right. Are we finding a topping pattern now? I'm seeing a little mini head and shoulders start to come in, but it's not all that strong. So we'll see. Okay, if it runs back up, I'm going to try for some more shorts. See if this is the top. And I got to try and make some profits and losses in this small consolidation range if I can. Okay, it's trying to make another run higher. You can start to see that volatility is starting to come back. That candle's moving around a lot more now. So the participants are starting to show up. And we've got 10 minutes to the news. I just can't really spend my capital fading the tops, whereas I usually would like to. I'm gonna have to be way more strategic and precise. So I'm gonna wait and get some good confirmation or a pattern before I short anymore. Let's see, it looks like it's gonna go for another leg higher. Starting to find some rejection. Okay, that 1 minute bar closed with a wick on top. So we should see traders starting to position themselves for the news. I'm gonna just slowly add in here. All right, 5 minutes to the news. Just took one tiny little profit there. Not really enough I can do anything. I needed to get a proper full stack in there of like 8 trades for me to take off some of the loss down there. So I've got to do that a few more times or find a good high probability spot where I can get into a good stack. I just don't have that just yet. So I just got to wait and just keep surviving a little bit for now. Now, if the news just takes off running higher, I'll lose for sure. There's just nothing I can do about it. I'll either hit my stop loss or my 2%, and that'll just be it. I don't want to finish like that, but there's just the way it is. So if it kind of goes up and down, that'll give me some opportunity to wobble out of those losses and take some profits and some losses, and then hopefully end up on top. But there's not much I can do if the market just runs up. Unfortunately, that'll just be a loss. Two minutes to the news. And if I can get the market to come back down into this stack, that could be good. Okay, taking a little profits and just under a minute to the news. So I'm going to take one loss there for the profits that I just gained. Okay, 20 seconds to the news. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. decent on the dollar. Just barely. Doesn't seem to be enough to really, it's not really doing anything. I can't believe it. It's just sitting there. Well, I was hoping for something a little bit better than that. Really? Nothing? Okay, Larry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get going too. Yeah, Vin, maybe a late reaction. I don't know. It's kind of weird that there's nothing going on. Thanks for coming in, Larry. Have a good weekend. All right, Vin. Thanks a bunch. Have a great weekend. God bless you guys. Just slowly taking a little bit of profit.
Time is you reading at then?
All right, I'm back here. Just got to work through this trade setup. So on the pushes back down, I'm going to take my losses, some of this bottom layer, and then just get out of these last little positions down here, if I can. I should have got out of those at really a break even, but I missed it. Okay, I'm gonna just pause there in case this runs up a good chunk more. Okay, just taking a little bit of profit here, so I'm gonna have to take off some of those losses. Okay, so as this market comes back down, I'm going to have to take some losses. I oversized in this area, so I'm definitely too heavy up here. I have a turn on the 1 minute chart, so let's see if I can get another bar out of this. I take another loss. I got to get rid of that last trade. I'm going to just get rid of it, get that out of there. Then I can resize back up if this runs back up. Just made that mistake in here of oversizing, and that cost me a little bit too much. I should have been out of my trades down here on that line, but I was just kind of away from the computer and missed it. Thought maybe I'd get one more opportunity, and it just didn't happen. It just pulled back away, so I'm going to have to work through this situation again. But it is something that we can work through. Take some shorts back up in here if it heads back up, and then I'll get rid of more of these trades. Okay, market's closing fairly strong in favor at the moment. I'm going to have to take some losses as I take some wins here. Start getting out of a little bit. Okay, another strong close to the downside. Okay, hitting another level right here. I'm going to place a few shorts. And then if it runs all the way back up, I'll get into a bigger stack. And there's a bit of a gap there. Generally, when the market does that gap, we get it fills it in. So I'm going to just get in heavier here. Just fading that market fairly hard because it gapped up, and it often retraces to fill that little gap on the 1 minute chart right in there. So I don't know if it's going to, but it's just something that usually happens. So I went in a little bit heavy so I can get rid of these losses now. Again, I should have been reducing the size on those. It just wasn't quite hitting those profit targets. Okay, there's some more profit targets coming back in. So now I can take some more losses on the downside. Just going to take these little profits off here. One more loss on the downside, and then we'll just wait and see what happens next. If we can just get one more push back down here, we can get out for a little bit of profits on these, and then these would be break even. And then that would be, we'll just call it a session if I can get down there. Okay, another little profit. Okay, we'll see if we can hit some of these profit targets. And we are. I'm going to take off this one and that one right there. And then worked out of that loss from back up there. Was not the smoothest way of doing it, but still wobbled out of the losses and still ended up on top. So decent session, not the greatest performance. I was a little distracted through some of it, and but the power of being able to be flexible and wobble your way through definitely paid off. And then there was this one section right through here. This was kind of like a really good opportunity to make money. And just put the trade history back on. So there's all the profits made back through there, and I should have been taking the losses. This is when I was away from the computer. I came back in here hoping to get one more leg back down and didn't, and so it was a bit heavy through this section. Made some money back through there, took losses up there, and then when we had this candle come in here and it gapped, I went in pretty heavy. I went into 5 or 6 trades up there, and then they all returned and made some good chunk of profit, and that allowed us to lighten back up over in this end and then be out for profits even without the market returning back to where I started way down here. So I started down here, we ended up profitable over here. So decent session, good finish. Let's just see what I put in the account today. Just got to pull up my Google Doc. Okay, we started at 10,336. Oh, we didn't quite make hold on, where are we at? Oh, 336. I didn't make as much as I thought. I thought we put in 0.1%, but not quite. That's okay. We'll just still call it a session with a small win. So 10,344.14 minus the starting balance, which was 10,336.89. That equals $7.25, and then divide that by 10,336.89 times 100 equals 0.07%. So it just made 0.07% in the account today. Just a small gain. Bit of a difficult session for me, but still put some money in the account. So all in all, decent session. And there's a good little takeaway on that gap. When that candle gapped up, that was a pretty good opportunity to make a little bit of money back in that spot. And so that was a good way to finish off. So thanks for showing up, guys. And well, that's going to call that a week. And I'll wish you guys the best. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week at 8 a.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend, everyone.